Scorching heat, incomprehensible riddles. The most expansive desert of Africa still holds countless secrets. Today, we will show you a full 20 incredible findings, from ancient skeletons to gigantic fossils. Join us to uncover the secrets that make even the most experienced researchers gasp in amazement. Stay until the end. Each new mystery becomes more and more exciting. Several decades ago, a legendary dinosaur hunter set off on a dangerous expedition across the scorching sands, deciding to venture as far as the territory of Nigeria. It was there, among the dunes, that he stumbled upon a truly colossal fossil. It turned out to be part of a gigantic skeleton of a prehistoric reptile that, according to scientists' estimates, lived on the African continent many millions of years ago, and was distinguished by truly impressive dimensions. In order to extract several dozens of tons of bones from the sand, the researcher encountered numerous difficulties. In addition to the heat and lack of water, he had to steer clear of bands hunting for the rarest fossils. Yet, the find itself was too valuable to abandon. Researchers believe that this bone belonged to one of the largest predators or semi-aquatic reptiles that inhabited the ancient river systems of the continent. These unique fragments helped scientists gain a broader view of what the entire African fauna might have looked like in unfathomably distant times. It is worth noting that some parts of the skeleton were located so deep in layers of sand and rock that they were raised literally piece by piece. However, the effort paid off. Paleontologists now have extensive information about the evolution of giant reptiles, their eating habits, and their habitat. Few ancient reptiles can evoke such admiration and fear at the same time as Spinosaurus, one of the largest predators of its time. Every time its fossil remains, discovered precisely in these regions, came to light, they overturned scientists' understanding of prehistoric nature. Suffice it to mention the massive sail on its back and the hypothesis that Spinosaurus led a semi-aquatic lifestyle, hunting comfortably both on land and in the water. Recent research suggests that this reptile might have surpassed even the legendary Tyrannosaurus in size. Furthermore, it possessed a set of physiological features: an elongated crocodile-like skull, powerful limbs, and an impressive sail on its back. It is believed that this structure helped regulate body temperature, attract mates, and even proved useful in strategic confrontations. Scientists think that the bones found in sandy deposits have most fully revealed Spinosaurus's remarkable abilities. For instance, these reptiles had dense bones that helped them submerge in water, and strong jaws with conical teeth adapted for gripping slippery prey, such as fish. Let us move on to a unique landscape that can baffle any traveler with its display of color. We are talking about one of the largest salt lakes in this vast desert region, Chott El Djerid. Some believe that it actually tops the list of the continent's biggest salt bodies of water. Curiously, the size of this lake is almost 2 times greater than the area of the legendary Salt Lake located in one of the western states of the United States of America. Should you pass by Chott El Djerid, you will be astonished by the multitude of colors that appears when sunlight refracts in the salt crystals. Shades can range from pale pink to yellowish white, depending on the season and time of day. Interestingly, this natural location has caught the attention of film studios. Many iconic movies were partially shot amid the white salt expanses. It is said that here, one can find prototypes of fantastic alien landscapes. However, do not even think of tasting the water. It is not suitable for drinking and is so saturated with minerals that it would hardly offer any comfort. It turns out that some peoples of the past managed to master the dusty expanse far better than we might imagine. In particular, the Libyan territories conceal an entire system of ancient fortifications belonging to the Garamantes people. Aerial surveys reveal more than 100 such outposts, buried beneath the dunes. The Garamantes were often called a mysterious people because, in order to exist in such harsh conditions, they had to possess advanced knowledge of irrigation and construction. Each uncovered fort has its own layout and unique architectural features, but all of them indicate that these people thrived successfully until the surrounding environment changed. Incidentally, many similar discoveries were made thanks to oil companies, whose specialists surveyed the area in search of valuable minerals. They were the first to stumble upon straight lines among the dunes, after which archaeologists were brought in. Thus, the sands yielded a whole array of mysteries concerning the large communities that once lived here. It seems this desert is filled not only with ancient history, but also with very real inhabitants whose encounter can end badly. Among them is the horned viper, named for the tiny horns above its eyes. This dangerous snake is usually nocturnal and prefers to burrow into the sand during the day, seeking coolness and camouflage. Its potent venom is particularly hazardous, capable of causing serious consequences for humans. Knowing that a proper hospital is nowhere to be found in the desert expanse, one realizes just how risky it is to come face to face with such a creature. It is believed that the horned viper can regulate the toxicity level of its bite, adjusting to the size of its prey, which makes it extremely effective in hunting. A curious detail: certain specimens of this species demonstrate a distinctive manner of movement in which the snake leaves almost no tracks in the sand, sliding sideways. This helps it spring a surprise attack on unsuspecting victims. Moving on, it is impossible to ignore one of the most spine-chilling rumored finds in recent times. It is said that deep in the desert dunes, scientists stumbled upon a site containing dozens, possibly hundreds, of bodies in a kind of preserved condition. Their skin had darkened, hardened, and was covered with mysterious patterns. Even more disturbing was the fact that all these remains lay in a specific order, as though someone had deliberately arranged them that way. What happened to these people? Were they victims of a mass ritual or a large-scale disaster? These questions remain unanswered to this day, and some researchers claim it may be related to ancient ceremonies or unusual diseases. The name Timbuktu is associated by many with something unreachable, as if located at the end of the earth. In reality, Timbuktu is situated in Mali and was once one of the most significant cultural centers of its region. In the Middle Ages, it served as a key point to which caravans of salt, gold, and even numerous books were drawn. Thanks to these books, Timbuktu became a world-renowned center of learning. It had libraries, universities, and major schools where serious scholarly and theological discussions took place. All of this flourished under the relentless desert heat, highlighting the brilliance and endurance of the people of that era even further. Although the city no longer plays such a prominent role, it is listed as a World Heritage Site. Mosques, library complexes, and clay mansions speak of the former grandeur of the local civilization. Another unique discovery that clearly illustrates how different the climate used to be is linked to a region referred to as Gobero. It was there that archaeologists uncovered remarkable burial grounds containing the bones of people who lived here several thousand years ago. The deeper the excavations went, the clearer it became that these people not only possessed basic tools, but also had quite elaborate funeral rites. Some skeletons lay in each other's arms. Jewelry and even household items were found near them. All this testified to a developed cultural level and a special attitude toward the deceased. Once upon a time, the area known as the Green Desert was filled with fresh lakes and abundant wildlife. Over thousands of years, climate changes gradually desiccated these lands, and their inhabitants likely had to migrate to cooler, more fertile areas. We have already touched on the topic of prehistoric reptiles, but how about colossal crocodiles that once inhabited places where only dunes exist today? According to scientists, this region was home to real marine giants. One was named Machimosaurus rex. It could reach nearly 10 meters in length, had powerful jaws, and a long, narrow snout. Some researchers believe that in past epochs, these monsters dominated the bodies of water, separating the territories of Africa and Europe. If one imagines such a crocodile, an enormous maw, a powerful tail, and armor-like plates, it becomes clear that it was unquestionably at the top of the food chain in that era. Certain fossilized bones display clear marks indicating fierce battles for territory and survival. Studying the jaw structure helps explain how these reptiles evolved and why their modern-day descendants no longer attain such sizes. The time has come to talk about an impressive impact crater located in the desert areas of the Tenere. Scientists agree that it formed because of a meteorite impact long before the appearance of dinosaurs. Imagine what forms of life might have existed here back then, and what those eras endured when suddenly struck by a cosmic cataclysm. Initially, researchers proposed a volcanic origin for this feature, but a thorough analysis of the soil and rocks revealed that it was indeed an impact crater. The presence of specific glassy inclusions and the shape of the depression point to an extremely high temperature that typically accompanies the fall of a large celestial body. However, the most interesting question remains: how many more such starry impact traces lie hidden beneath the sand? This area has an incredibly ancient history, and if more extensive research were conducted, countless other imprints of Earth's meteorite collisions might be discovered. During the Second World War, these desert stretches became a battlefield for fierce fighting. In the North African campaign, many pilots were forced to land on the scorching terrain due to mechanical failures or a lack of fuel. That is exactly what happened with a P-40 Kitty Hawk airplane, which the United States of America had transferred to the Royal Air Force through the Lend-Lease program. Only in the early part of the new millennium did specialists working in the oil sector accidentally come across the wreckage of this plane. Amazingly, it was relatively well preserved. The metal showed almost no rust, and patches of paint remained in some places on the skin. It is believed that the pilot managed to land somewhat softly, but, realizing that no Allied bases were nearby, set out on foot to seek help. For historians, such a find is a genuine treasure trove of facts. Machine gun belts, parts of the instrument panel, and the pilot's personal belongings all tell a story from distant times, when the fate of entire fronts and nations was decided here. Imagine walking among the dunes and suddenly feeling the sand beneath your feet turn into something crunchy. You look down, and there is glass sparkling everywhere. How did it get to this place? The answer lies in the colossal temperature produced when large meteorites strike. At the moment of impact, the sand heats up so intensely that it melts instantly, transforming into a glassy mass. It later solidifies into strange shards of various sizes and shades. Scientists have discovered that melting on such a scale requires energy comparable to a nuclear explosion. This Libyan desert glass can be many millions of years old, since such meteorite bombardments may have occurred in extremely distant geological epochs. Legends of expeditions disappearing without a trace in these parts have stirred imaginations for centuries. One of the most famous stories tells of the army of the Persian king Cambyses, with several tens of thousands of warriors who marched into the depths of the desert and vanished without a trace. According to folklore, a colossal sandstorm overtook them. The winds, together with shifting dunes, literally buried the army. For a very long time, this was considered a myth. However, in the early years of the new century, reports appeared of discoveries of weapons and armor that could belong to those Persians. Was it truly a dreadful accident? Or did the army encounter relentless resistance from local tribes? The mystery remains unsolved. But if discoveries continue, archaeologists may shed light on one of antiquity's most dramatic legends. Among the most important archaeological discoveries is Nabta Playa, an ancient astronomical site more than 7,000 years old. It lies in the desert regions of Egypt and consists of carefully placed stones designed to mark the summer solstice. Because the rainy season in this area was essential for survival, people used stone markers to pinpoint precisely when to expect water from the skies. Interestingly, findings of pottery and ritual items at this site show that not only were observations of celestial bodies carried out here, but also ceremonies closely tied to natural cycles. Experts note that Nabta Playa may have served as a gathering place for different tribes, since jointly predicting the climate greatly increased their chances of survival. In the Libyan portion of these vast dunes, a remarkable discovery was made: the Cave of Swimmers. Its walls are adorned with ancient images estimated to be about 10,000 years old. The drawings depict people as though they are swimming, and alongside them are giraffes, hippos, and other inhabitants of moist ecosystems. Researchers are certain that where these sandy dunes now lie, there were once bodies of water and fertile lands. Such rock paintings are not merely recollections of how previous civilizations lived, but direct evidence of climate change. Another intriguing aspect is the artistic style of the images themselves. The lines are extremely minimalist, and the human figures are dynamic, as if the creators wanted to capture a moment of motion. For historians, it is a window into a distant past, vividly proving that lakes once flourished here and life flowed in full force. When this desert is mentioned, the first things that come to mind are endless dunes and a total lack of water. Yet scientists have long suspected that traces of ancient rivers could lie beneath the sand. Radar surveys by a Japanese research team confirm this. A gigantic river system has been found, stretching more than 500 kilometers, all the way to the coastline. The fact that such major waterways existed forces a complete rethinking of the continent's history. Perhaps entire civilizations once thrived here, using river water to irrigate their fields. Discovering rivers in the present day not only corrects our understanding of the past, but also suggests that vital water resources may remain hidden beneath the dunes. Interestingly, in some oases, one can still find small springs bubbling up from underground. This indicates that much of the river system never disappeared entirely, but instead sank to great depths due to tectonic shifts and climate change. In the western part of this enormous desert region, there is yet another geological marvel that, from a bird's-eye view, looks like a giant eye peering into space. Its scientific name is the Richat structure, but it is commonly referred to as the Eye. The diameter of this eye spans roughly 50 kilometers. Initially, some suspected it to be a massive meteorite crater. However, more detailed studies confirmed that this formation is an uplifted geologic structure that was subsequently subjected to intense erosion. Even so, the huge eye-like shape, visible even from satellites, continues to spark numerous theories and legends. Some search for traces of vanished cities within it, or even connect it with stories of mysterious continents. Whatever the truth, the Eye is one of the most vivid reminders of the powerful geological forces that have shaped this part of the Earth's crust. Such mysterious and captivating discoveries can be found among the vast dunes and hidden corners of this region. If you have any theories or know of even more unusual facts about this enigmatic expanse, share your thoughts. And do not forget to check out other releases on our channel. Many more astonishing revelations are on the way, ones that may upend our understanding of the past.